Yo, yo, yo. Hey, guys, welcome back to another awesome edition of the Best Practices Show podcast. My name is Kirk Behrendt, and my goal is to bring you little tips, techniques, systems, frameworks to improve your practice and improve your life. And have you ever thought to yourself, man, we have got to put something in place that creates better relationships for our patients and everyone can use it? Well, today, I've got it for you. It's called the F.O.R.D concept. We learned it from Dr. Mike Kratz, an awesome member of the To the Top Study Club. And he shared recently at the Milwaukee headquarters how they use it. It's awesome. And today we pass along that knowledge to you. I promise you, you put this into your practice, you're going to find that your entire team can connect better with patients. And I discussed that concept today with one of our amazing coaches, Jenni Poulos. Hope you guys enjoy the episode. We'll see you soon. Hey guys, welcome back to the Best Practices Show podcast. I'm so pumped you're here, so thank you for keep showing up. We're going to continuously bring you great tips, tools, techniques, thought processes, frameworks, things that you can use right away in your practice and make your practice a little bit better every single time. So keep showing up. So today I've got one of my amazing coaches, Jenni Poulos, on. Jenni, thanks for being on. Really appreciate you.
Hi, Kirk. How are you today?
I'm amazing. You're even more amazinger, if that's even a word. But Jenni is an awesome coach here and one of the members of our Traction Leadership team. And today we're going to be talking about a simple framework that we've learned from one of our clients. Now, we've always taught this. We're going to be talking about the F.O.R.D concept. Now, if you guys are listening, put this into play right away, because what it's going to do is allow you to make better connections. What we're all looking to do in dentistry is build a great practice and a great life based on relationships. And it's often hard to do that when you're doing way too much. So this is a system or a framework. But let's start here. Jenni, I want people to know who you are before we get into the topic. So who's Jenni Poulos?
Jenni Poulos is someone that has been in the dental field forever and is so grateful that she gets to do what she gets to do. I am a coach. I am a mom. I am a leader. I have a passion for creating great teams and helping people live the lives that they have envisioned for themselves.
And you do it remarkably well. I mean, my grammar, you're going to have to fix all my grammar and all this, but you do an amazing job of that. One of the things we do is we not only have our To the Top Study Club, but we have coaching clients that we work with all over. And the cool thing about what we do is, like, most of the practices we work with are not broken. They're actually really good practices, doing really good things. And when you get to a certain point, which Dan Sullivan from Strategic Coach used to call it a ceiling of complexity, where your practice has grown and you can't grow anymore, you have to change the way you think or the way you operate. And so it's really cool living and playing on the cusp of that, as we get to see a lot of great ideas from great dentists that have done things. Now, we're always big fans of you as a dentist or as a team member creating systems that create better relationships. But Jenni, tell us about why this concept is so important, not only from the dentist perspective, but from also a team member's perspective. Why is a system like this so important?
Well, first, we're talking about a system for shortcutting relationship building. We're talking about a way to remember the things that matter to our patients in a way that doesn't require a lot of extra energy. Patients want to know you care. They want to know that you're listening. They want to know that you care. They want to be remembered. We all do. And I've had so many teams say to me, gosh, we're trying to find a way to put these notes so we can remember things. Do we put it in the clinical notes? How do we do it? Do we pin it? What's a great system for this? And one of the amazing doctors in our community taught us about this F.O.R.D concept, it's a way to create a system to consistently and reliably know what's important to our patients so we can talk to them about it.
Yeah, and the cool part about the collective learning, so there's a couple lessons in here. Guys, just stay in an arena where you're always learning. And then some industries cross over. So the doctor we're talking about is Dr. Mike Kratz in Minnesota. So Mike, thank you so much. And he has a team member who came from the hair salon industry. And they were big on that. And she said, why don't we put in the F.O.R.D concept? And I'm like, what the heck is the F.O.R.D concept? So in their software, which you can use any software, but they use, is it Dentrix or EagleSoft? I can't remember. I think it's Dentrix.
I think so, yeah.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So every patient that comes in, they have an acronym, F.O.R.D. So Jenni, take us through this. And each team member will put a simple, tiny little half-sentence narrative around each one of these letters in the acronym. So take us through the F.O.R.D concept. What is it?
So it's super simple, super actionable. So the F.O.R.D concept is just making small notes about your patient's family, their occupation, their recreation, and their dreams. So these are the things that are personal to our patients. So just by making small notes about each of these items, F.O.R.D, keeping them in your software, you can reference them before your patients come in and remember the things that are important to them and immediately shortcut relationship because you begin to talk about them.
Right. So you guys have all been there. You know, you've ever been to an MD that you're like, okay, I just told the nurse everything about my entire life. And then the doctor comes in and asks me exactly the same questions. And I'm like, did you guys compare notes at all? You've been on that side of it. You've also been on that side of it where you deal with a healthcare professional and they know who you are. What's really important to understand about discretionary dentistry or the better side of dentistry is I'm going to reach in, if I'm a patient in your practice, I'm going to reach into my pocket and I'm going to take some of the money that I have in my account and I am going to make decisions above and beyond, you know, maybe insurance or whatever and make a value choice about my oral health that I'm going to trust in you. And I'm only going to do it with somebody I trust. And trust cannot be, you can't be tricky about this. And what you have to do is cultivate an office or an experience of trust because really I buy things because of how I feel, not because they're logical, they're cheap, they're beautiful. I mean, sometimes that'll play, but you can think about this if you're a dentist. You know, you're tuned into everyone's family members. Who are their family or any mentions about their family? Oh, you know, you're talking about their occupation. What do they do? You know, recreation. I'm a skier. I like to ski. I'm a skier. You know, wouldn't it be important to know that when they're bringing that up? And then dreams. What are their dreams? You know, I remember him saying like one of his patients had a dream to move to Florida and, you know, start a restaurant. But like now I'm becoming an integral part of these people's lives. It transcends dentistry. You know what I mean? Just the dental fact. The other thing, too, is you're likely to have team members come in and out of your lives. I mean, it would be great to say everyone's going to work here for their entire career and just get to know these patients. But the truth of it is you're going to have new team members come in with veteran team members, and we need a way to bring us all together so that we're all learning the same thing. Right, Jenni?
Yeah, this just really simplifies this process, and you're not relying upon Sally's brain to remember what was important about Mrs. Smith. You're not relying upon your assistant to recall, you know, what was talked about 6, 7, 8 weeks ago, the last time a patient was in your chair. Because our days are busy and crazy. So make this easy on yourselves and just capture these key items. I particularly love the dreams one because great leaders, great communicators, great team members, they remember the things that light people up.
Right.
They remember those exciting moments. And when we talk about our dreams, it's those light up moments. It's those exciting moments. And it actually brings us into a headspace where we have this release of dopamine, this release of serotonin, and we're happy and excited and engaged. Our brains become malleable. From a scientific standpoint, we're actually more likely to engage in treatment and act upon things when we're talking about the things that we love and the things that we like. So, our family, our dreams, all of these are things that are going to light us up, that are going to make us happy. And when we can set the stage of a conversation, that's like, what's important to you, to your life, what makes you happy, that conversation about the crown, the filling, the crack, the whatever it's going to be, gosh, it's a much easier conversation that's grounded in relationship and trust.
Absolutely. And two other things that I would just say and piggyback on what you just said, Jenni, because number one, I now don't need to be thinking about what questions to ask all the time. I know the acronym, and somehow I got to find out a little bit more about their family. Number two, if there's any changes or if they mention, like now, I don't need to be taught a whole bunch. I've just got to continuously populate the F.O.R.D. Now, think about this. And I don't want to get all software or techie on you, but like you're going to put this in the patient alerts because now this is a dossier, a document, an important framework that you're going to add to over time. So now you've also been there too. If you're like me, you don't remember things. Like I totally forgot that, her husband passed away too, I mean, there are going to be things that you're like, oh shoot, I totally forgot that. What's really cool about this is that you and your team can be committed to learning about these people. And as changes happen, especially in their family, you don't make the mistake of like going, oh, how's Bill? Well, Bill passed away 2 years. And you're like, oh, darn it. I totally forgot that, and that's kind of a serious one, but like even little things, that's why it's important to be able to look at the record, because at the end of the day, you want to be given the energy to things that matter most, which is making the connection with the patient. And you don't have time to keep learning these things over and over again. And I hate it when somebody asks me the same questions over and over and over. I'm like, I already told you this story about like how many kids I have last time, and you weren't even listening. And so you just thought it was Charlie Brown's teacher talking when I was talking, type of a thing. But so it's a really cool concept that you can just put into play right away and make it work in your practice. What are some other things that maybe dentists don't understand about the simplicity around an acronym like this? It makes it so much easier for team members to help.
We tend to overthink things. We really tend to feel like we have to make this difficult, right? Like I think that the personality of a lot of dentists lends to overthinking also. And we just need to ask a few simple questions and remember a few simple things to continue to build on these relationships. Remember, patients, they invest in the things that they value, and they do business with the people that they trust.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Another thing,
more than that, it's very simple.
Yeah. Another thing to consider too is that patients will often be more vulnerable with team members than the doctor. Now that's not always true, but you're going to find that some hygienists or some assistants or even team members at the front are going to learn a lot more about the patient than you will, doctor, because they're afraid to tell you everything or that you just haven't had the time. And what's really cool about a system like this is they can introduce things that they've learned on a relationship side of things to better help you as a doctor. And I would just say this, like as you introduce this concept, start slow. It does work, and maybe introduce it in a morning huddle if you do morning huddles, which you should. And then over time, don't be so like when you talk about overthinking, Jenni, don't be thinking about how much money you're going to make or anything else. Just get into relationship building. I challenge people this all the time. Is your practice transactional or is it relational? And everyone says, oh, it's relational. Well, if it is, show me what you do. This is my challenge to you as a listener. Show me what you do that would support that it's relational. We have systems built to better improve our relationships. And go back. Now, you guys just came back from the Global Leadership Conference. I want you to go back to this. When you say speed up the relationship building, we're not talking about speed dating here. We're just talking about getting to learn more about a person faster, correct? Is that what you're referencing?
You have a limited amount of time with your patients, right? That's just the reality of the business that we're in. You have people that are coming down and sitting in your chair, and you don't have weeks, years, months to slowly build a relationship with them. You need to get to know them and establish trust and connection quickly, right? So we want to have some key questions, some key items that we can ask that will get us through sort of just these these cursory introductory sort of, what's your name, hi, where do you live, into connecting more around personal concerns, dreams, goals. So we talk a lot about open-ended questions, right? Asking questions that get people to engage. And by asking these questions around things F.O.R.D concept that we know are important to the person, we're able to quickly connect. So what's exciting in your life right now? Anything exciting coming up? What's your biggest goal right now? Just asking some of these simple questions that really get to those personal concerns, personal connections, versus just these kind of general traits and facts about people.
Yeah, and absolutely. And one more thing, this is kind of the bonus 2.0 round of the F.O.R.D concept, is that you're going to be learning about patients, and then you're going to be taking this data and organizing it. So some people, as you get to learn about them, you're going to be like, this isn't the right patient for the practice. And what it's going to come down to is your values just don't line up for some reason, some fashion, whatever it is. You don't want to be all things to every patient and be everyone's dentist. And so when it comes to the patient alerts, you can also do this. I mean, this is what's so fun. I'm a geek about this. I love this kind of stuff. If you use the software correctly, you can, in salutation, code patients. You can code them as A patients, B patients, C patients. Now, it doesn't have anything to do with how rich they are, but there are patients that show up and pay and respect your time, and those would be considered A patients. C patients don't show up. They're constantly late. They don't value the dentistry. Our values do not line up, and they owe us a ton of money, and they never pay their bills. My point is this, that the C patients are often what we consider damaging dollars. They're dollars you're better off not collecting in your practice. And so you as a dentist stalk them 11 times because they've canceled 11 times and they owe you $2,300. But you don't know that because there's no coding system in there. And what you can do as a team is, number one, create the F.O.R.D concept. Get to know these patients. And then in salutation, you can say if they're an A, B, or C patient, all you want to do is don't kick people out, but put your energy into the people that best fit what you're looking to build your practice. Now you're thinking, oh, we're going to put that in the salutation. Well, you can actually check the box that unprints them or takes the salutation out of the statement. So if you're printing those out. Now, again, that's a nerdy tip, but that's really cool because if you're a dentist, you can come in and take a look at, wow, I've got 13 A patients and 2 Bs and 4 Cs. Now you know where to put all of your energy in and just see where the chips fall. You're not going to try to save everybody, but you're going to try to build a practice with the right type of people. Every business does this. They're looking to build a certain segment of their business. And you as a dentist can put these two concepts together, the F.O.R.D concept, and then which segment are we looking to build? And that's how you best market for a great future in dentistry. Anything else you would add, Jenni?
I think you say this to me often, right? Our problems are not our problems. It's the way that we think about our problems. I just want to encourage everyone to just think a little bit differently about how we build relationships. Mm-hmm. Think a little bit differently about the things that you can do to generate amazing relationships and connection in a short period of time with your patients. Make it easy and make it actionable.
Yeah. Awesome. Very well said. So this is kind of a short podcast, but we wanted to give you like something actionable, usable right now. And I'll just clarify one more thing on the whole ABC patients, because I got all these emails of people like, oh, you're prejudged. No, I'm not. Listen, 80% of your practice comes from about 80% of your production is going to come from, 20% of your practice. 80% of your problems are going to come from 20% of your practice. So you just want to put your energy, I hope I'm saying that right. Did I get my percentages right? So basically 80% of your production is going to come from A patients. Let me say that better. 80% of your problems are going to come from C patients. You just don't want to build a practice of people that are problematic. And we need a simple way, a framework, a system that we can all be working together to love the right type of people for our practice that will bring people just like them. Because, You put the F.O.R.D concept together with the ABC, and you're going to see people are going to come in and go, I know you're expensive, and you don't take my insurance, and I got to pay up front, but I hear you're really good. And you can go, wow, that's pretty cool, because they refer other people that are like them, right?
Yep. So. The ABC pay, what I try to say, we're not, and I get this question too with teams, we're not judging people, we're just rating behaviors.
100%. I'm glad you said that. Yeah, that's the important thing. We're just paying attention to whether or not they're respecting the rules of the business, and that's it. If they don't, it doesn't mean they're bad people. It doesn't mean we're kicking them out. It just means they don't show up and they don't pay.
My family.
Yeah, like family. And you're going to find most of the people that fit that category are related to the dentist in some way, either friends or family members or buddies from high school. So hope you guys enjoyed today's podcast. And as always, we're going to continuously bring you things that if you're driving to work, if you're cutting the grass, if you're cleaning the garage, if you're going for a walk and listening to these podcasts, you can use them little by little and introduce them to your team to create a better practice and a better life. So we hope you guys keep showing up, keep sending us suggestions for things that you guys want to see. And until we see you guys next time, keep watching the Best Practices Show. You guys enjoy your day.